What's going on, you guys? And welcome to some Stranded Alien Dawn. In this episode, we're going to try and take care of our resource issue again. Now, we also have a little bit of news. Ken and... where is she? Melody are engaged. And we just got attacked. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start my Keurig really quickly and walk away. As I've noticed in some of my videos, it's exceedingly loud. And walk away. Okay, so let's get into this, you guys. While that brews, I'm going to take a quick look around, as I always do, and figure out what's going on in the world around us. Something I do quite often. So we're in the middle of a dust storm, that's right. It's been a long week, to say the least. A very, very long week. Lots of bad news. Bad news for me and my wallet. You see, I thought that my daughter's therapy was being covered by the VA, by Champ VA, which I have because I'm a service-connected disabled veteran with the United States, or was with the United States Army. I was an airborne infantryman in the U.S. Army. So, got injured, got out, med-boarded. I've got disability now, and like I said, I thought my daughter's, everything was being taken care of, because every time I got a letter from Champ VA, it says something about cost to patient, and it showed 0, but I wasn't looking at the shared cost. You know, they were saying that my daughter's therapy has been costing about $166 a piece every single day. 166 bucks a day for a few hours. I mean, it's money well spent, but God, I wish I would have known, because now I owe more money. Which means we're going to have to put it on a credit card, and the vicious cycle of never getting out of debt continues. Don't follow my example, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let yourself get into debt, because once you do, if you don't have a good job and a good means of income, you're never getting out. So I've got my coffee brewed. So Ken and Melody are finally engaged. It was, very sporadic. I didn't even realize it was going on, but Ken was over here doing some crafting while Melody was doing some research. And just out of the blue, it said that they were, in love, and then next thing I know, he's proposing to her, like, almost instantaneously. So I don't know how love works. I know how love works in the real world, but it's most likely, it's more often than not the way that's set up. You don't just. Well, I mean, they have spent 6 years together, so I mean, there's also that. Yeah, I forget that perception of time is a very, very strong thing. For me, this has been maybe 20 hours, but inside the simulation, if these people have they don't really have a conscious, they do what I tell them to, but if they have some sort of consciousness to them, some sort of sentience, they've experienced 6 years. Which is one reason why I love the movie Interstellar so much, I guess. Once he gets closer to the black hole, his clock starts running slower in retrospect to his daughters, who's on Earth and not as close to a black hole, which distorts time, and, space itself bends light. It's a very, very powerful source of just energy. It sucks up everything and it spews out these cosmic rays, just pure beams of plasma. They're also contributed to, star formation. These plasma beams, gamma ray bursts, I believe they're called. It's been about 6 years since I've done any, brushing up on my science and stuff. But I think that's what they were called. A gamma ray burst is when No, I'm sorry. A gamma ray burst is when it can be a gamma ray burst too, but more often than not, a gamma ray burst is when a star, goes supernova and it shoots a beam of high, highly charged particles. Or, yeah, I think it also counts for that too. Regardless, I'm not a scientist. I just dabble. And so this right over here, that Jack is currently working on, is going to be Ken and Melody's new home. We're going to make sure that it gets set to the carbon before we do anything else. And then I also need to work on these, all of these ceilings. Did I activate these? Oh no, because they're also cooking off of this right here, you guys, so. And there's a severe... I just can't catch a break. I'm trying to get these things done, you guys. So the game's just not cutting me any slack. Let me turn the bass down in my headset. Good lord. There's something going on out there that's making my eyes vibrate. I've got some extra bass headset, the Crusher Evo. It's got this bass boost on it. It's ridiculous, you guys. Like, compared to all the other headsets that I've owned, these ones are the only ones that have given me any kind of bass feel, let alone they make my head shake. Like, my eyeballs literally feel like they're being vibrated, you guys. It's so weird and it feels so good. It just feels so weird, but like I said, I enjoy it. It's like an internal head massage almost. Very pleasurable, though it can be overstimulating. So I can't do it for very long. Obviously, it does trigger my autism a little bit, and the overstimulation does, happen quite quickly. As you guys heard, I needed to turn the volume down in my bass in my headset just now because it was making my eyes vibrate, and it was, it felt good, but at the same time, it's so weird. I need them to get to work on the soldering bench. We need those electronics. And we were down to 12, now we're up to 13 again because more stuff is breaking down. Come on, you guys. No, don't worry about tailoring, Ken. I guess we need to worry about it. 3 pairs of boots and all of this needs to be crafted? Oh, God. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you see what we're doing today. We're making armor. I'm almost tempted to toss construction on all of this so that Jack can get to work. Expedition, we did get that mission, so let's... Yeah, we got a wedding. So let's let them celebrate their wedding. That was really fast. Thankfully, we got it already planned. I had a feeling that they were going to want to do a wedding soon. Oh, this means I get a trophy. Yes. Sorry, there's a trophy for witnessing a wedding, which we're about to do right now, you guys. Well, tonight, once they're all ready. Thank God I got enough seating. Here we go for the wedding. Ken, you better be close by, buddy. You got a wedding to attend. There you go. I was like, is he really gonna work for his wedding? She's exchanging crafting ideas while getting married. No, it's devotion to the job. Whose bed is this? Shared. Where's Melody's bed? Here we go. Melody's bed. I forget which bed is Ken's. That one over here. Why is there combat music? I'll do that. Why is there combat music? It's so weird. Okay. Am I getting attacked by the camels? No? Okay. Well, that was a weird little glitch. I'm not sure what that was all about, to be honest. But yet again, these heat waves, you guys, they happen so frequently. They're so annoying. Just killing all of my power generation. I mean, it's just atrocious. And Ken is going to tailoring. I swear to God, I'm going to break this bench. Just so they get to this. I really want to break this bench, but if it wasn't so useful. But, whatever. We got Jack doing some stuff. He's going to get back to work over here. Rita and Lara are still out in the field. That's really good to see. Let's see about food. Ew. Okay, well, let's go ahead and assign Rita back to what she was doing initially. She's got a harvest for a 1, but I need her to go back to cook 1, so we'll harvest 2. Get some food variety up in here. And since we have no more research going on, Melody is crafting those electronics. Fantastic. Get it done, you guys. I mean, honestly, if we get enough supplies, I might be able to craft up a 3D printer. How many food fabricators are there? Okay, just the one. Alright, so something for 3D printer. Let's go ahead and place a couple. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit the pause on the construction. And it's just ridiculous. Alright, well, at least we have a second hand over here helping with the construction process. And now that I have the 2 beds over here, it'll make it significantly easier for me to figure out who's who. When I go to quickly move the beds, I'll know that this is Jack and Melody. And then we'll move them over once this is done. But in the meantime, we still have some work to do. Lots to recraft or upgrade. And lots to craft. I need this 3D printer. And we also need to use this, the metal. Got some on either end, that's crazy. Alright, cool. Yeah, I need to utilize that metal with the silica that's up here and turn it into some nice electronics and some nice CPUs. But it's just taking its time, you guys. These things are, rough. Especially once you get behind like we are right now. And more stuff's just breaking down. Okay, so at 12. We need those electronics. I need this automated one. Desperately need this automated one. Alright, where's Melody? She needs to come over here and assist me. Why is she way over there? Okay, whatever. Alright, Melody. Alright. I can finally upgrade that. Stone wall. Reconstruct carbon. this ceiling that was giving me problems. Reconstruct the carbon, which we can finally do now. Thank God. That was a pain in the butt. Just trying to get it, built the last episode. And then after this, let's go ahead and slap on these walls. Like so. And let's get a door on the back side, just like the other ones. We're gonna make it out of carbon. And is there a gap? There's a singular door gap, yes. So there we go. And then from here, we will go to the air conditioning unit, and we will place it right here. After this, we go back over to the housing, grab yourself some ceilings, and we'll make the carbon variety, like so. Now, with all that carbon in place, I really need to get the Air Force out there. I really do. But we only have 4 at the moment. I wonder how much we still have sitting out here for the carbon nanotubes. Should I have like maybe 100? No, I think I grabbed them all. Yep, that's what must have happened. These are smallness, but they're still pretty strong. So we're gonna hold off. Take a look inside again. Has anything been made on this? Nothing yet. Man, 4 and 17, that's ridiculous. And I know I need to get them done. I'm over here just, continuously building new stuff, but we need this stuff over here too. We need to have Melody and Ken in their own living quarters. They're a married couple. They might want to do, if you're a married individual, you obviously know. Being a father, on the other hand, it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to actually go ahead and, find the time. As my little one, she's generally found sleeping in our bed during the night. She don't last long in her bed and immediately runs to ours and hops in bed with us, so we have to, schedule dates. But that just makes it more, I almost said, it almost makes it more better, but that's not English, is it? No, that's not. It makes it more enjoyable. Going out on a date with your wife, bonding experience, and then, some fun afterwards, some drinks. But, we don't need to be talking about my sex life. Nope. Honestly, if we weren't already about 20 minutes into this video, I probably would just restart. But it's not like I shared too much. This economy that we're in, my wife's almost telling me you need to start selling some feed pics on the OnlyFans. I mean, she wants to, but I told her hell no. I'd rather sell pictures of me. She's like, do it. Well, we need the cash. Man, it's rough times out there, you guys. Hopefully you're, doing a hell of a lot better than me. I'm over here struggling. Some people think that we veterans, we just, we make so much money. But here I am, having to cash out, almost $1,000 a week for my daughter's therapy. And that's out of pocket. Well, I stand corrected. My insurance, I do have good insurance. So my deductible is about $3,000. So 3 weeks of therapy, and then I'm good for the rest of the year. But man, this stuff is expensive. And they don't really do any kind of scheduling, which means it's going on a credit card. Christ. I just want to burn every credit card company on the face of the planet. I just want to burn them to the ground. I mean, if it wasn't a necessity for things like, buying a car, a home, which I already have a home, but, could always use another car. Yeah, it's definitely a necessity for that. Go ahead and butcher them all. Need some meat. I know for a fact we need meat. Look at that, it's just some smoke leaf hanging. And then I didn't see any over here. No, we've got a little bit, never mind. So we do have some meat. Probably from the last mission. Okay, I'm done playing around. In the morning, I'm grabbing Ken and we're just gonna make these CPUs. He ain't doing nothing else. I don't care about armor, nothing. You're making some stuff, buddy. Craft some electronics. Wake up. Get to work. We have 16 of these to make today, you guys. 16. You going back to craft more electronics, Ken? Nice. Love seeing this, you guys. We've got Ken assembling again. He's, if he keeps on track with this, he might be able to get about 3 a day. And we got Melody, who shifted over to tailoring. And honestly, she's probably the best tailor that we have. I probably should have grabbed her for the assembly. Let me take a look real fast. I might just swap them on their roles really quick. So over here to crafting and tailoring. You know, Ken's a 9. I know he did take over first. No, I'm gonna let him get something to eat since he has made 2 of those electronics. He deserves some food. And I'm also gonna let him carry on as we're about to be attacked by 141 aggressive animals that are never getting up here, so never mind you guys. I love when they do this. Alright, so I'm gonna hear the battle music for some time. But at the same instance, these things can't get up into my base. For those of you that, saw earlier on in the series, I think it was like episode 3 or something. Yeah, these got stuck down here, and then, they eventually run off into the water and, die. But they're stuck down there for a while, and we're gonna hear the combat music, so let's go back up to my survivors and make sure that Ken, thank God, Ken is assembling. He's a very smart man for being so dumb. Actually, hold on. What's his intellect? Yeah, Demon's Rocks. Level 3. Rita's a 10. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. We sent Rita out on a mission and it unlocked her intellect to level 10. I'm not sure what it was at before then. It's a god. I'm trying not to be Dr. Seuss, you guys, but I was about to say it's a godsend. That's 3 times in a row that would have been end. My brain sometimes. I don't do this stuff on purpose. It just happens. Nothing on this channel is pre-planned. Everything that comes out of my mouth, more often than not, is just incoherent gibberish spouted off in the prayer that it does come off as, quarter intelligent. I'm not even going to say half intelligent, because that's not the case. Now let's go ahead and speed up time in the hopes that all of these will finally disappear and give me some peace. Don't worry about Ken, Laura, or Melody, or any of their health. That's the toxic ash taking effect. You can combat it with the toxic, or the respirator mask, but that also requires my people to stop working on the electronics and CPUs and work on those respirator masks. We'll take the little bit of damage and carry on with our lives. Sorry about that. I've also noticed that I can hear myself chugging my coffee. Man, this mic picks up everything. No, I guess that's the downside of a headset mic combination. But one day I hope to afford a significantly better microphone. You guys deserve to have better audio. This headset does make me sound just, minutely monotone. I hear myself talking sometimes, and it makes my skin crawl. Granted, it's in the same headset that I'm using now. It's the only way that I can really hear myself. So we lost a little electronics. Or sorry, what is that? Antibiotics. That's the word. I knew it was one of those otics. Nonsense. So Ken's just gonna keep doing that forever. Alright, this combat music's really distracting, guys. I'm really trying to come up with commentary, but the music is it's setting me off. It's so distracting. I keep wanting to look over here at my defenses, like, where are they coming from? Where are they at? Ah, I'm paranoid. Ah, where? They need to hurry up. Run off into the water, please, bugs. Go. Run. Go, run, run. Run off into the water. You know you want to. Come on. I heard there's some very beautiful ladybugs in the water. And we can get a lucky night. No? Wow. That usually works. In no universe. Huh? Oh no, it's working! Ah! They went to go get them. Yes, run! No, they're up there. They're in the water. You guys gotta go down in the water. Yeah, who cares? They're disappearing. But man, that was... If I would have just waited like, a few more seconds, that would have been, crazily timed. Obviously, I didn't plan for that, and I knew they were eventually going to run off into the water as I've witnessed it before. And generally, if something happens once, it's going to repeat itself. They're going to keep messing around until they run into the water and die. Or until they glitch into the rock. Yeah, it's happened before, so I knew it was going to happen another time. I need to see it crafted. What do we... Oh, it needs this... We find ourselves with a conundrum. Do we, A, continue the electronics, or B, there's 4 CPUs that need to be crafted, and one of them goes to the air conditioning unit in a house that's completely ready to be inhabited by Ken and Melody. Choices. Nope, we're doing it, you guys. After Ken completes this electronic, I'm going to force him to make a CPU. Come on, Ken. Ken doesn't have a weapon. That's not good. Wow. Neither does Laura. There we go. So Jack's finally assembling. Oh, so we'll have all 3 people down here? No way. Oh, oh, get back over there, Ken. That was awesome to see. No, Jack. Get off of that bench. There we go. Let me select Ken. And craft CPUs. There we go. We'll get those 4 CPUs crafted since it's a lot easier, and I do want to get Ken and Melody into their own room. Alright, so the next thing... No, I'm not going to build anything. I'm not going to build anything. We have things that we need to get fixed. We have things that we need to do. I'm attempting to tell my brain to shut its mouth and to let me be, but it's so hard sometimes. God, it's so hard sometimes. I don't like just sitting here and watching them craft. This isn't entertaining. Oh, I don't know if it's entertaining to you guys. I mean, if it's not entertaining to me, I don't see how it can be entertaining to you. Maybe the commentary, minutely. or me yelling at the that would be the commentary, wouldn't be yeah, me yelling at them, my brain trying to sidetrack and derail us. And speaking of derailed, not only did we lose Ozzy, but we lost Hulk Hogan. Like, what's going on, you guys? Like, I was practically raised on Black Sabbath when I was a young child slash baby with my biological father before he decided to, go to the store and get milk. Never came back. I heard he fathered some other kids, and they're having fun. He went to jail, like I said, after shooting my cousin and the calf after the other kids had been all grown up. He was out of the picture when I was young. I don't really remember him too much, aside from him, attempting to come back into my life by, sending me or my daughter money. And I told him, stop sending me your money. I don't want it. Even if I'm hurting, I don't want somebody's money if that's all I'm gonna be. You didn't want me when I was young, so you don't need me when I'm old. Besides, I tried all that while I was older. The last time I got together with him, I ended up getting stuck on the other side of the country because apparently he stole my ID, and you need an ID to go on board any kind of transit. So he held on my ID, which means I lost my job, I lost the girl I was with, lost my apartment, all my stuff pretty much gone. Yeah, it was rough times, you guys. So that's why I don't want him in my life. Plus he shot, his own flesh and blood, my cousin, his nephew, his sister's kid, in his calf, and just blew it apart. Like, he had massive stitches throughout his entire calf, all the way through it, you guys. And we're talking about a man who, had some well-developed calf muscles, and he was working on the oil rigs in Dakota, and he would do some offshore as well. He was an oil man. Not anymore. Yep. Yep. All thanks to my father. Well, I call him the sperm donor because that's really all he is. He just, helped fertilize the egg. Yeah. Regardless, he tries to buy his way into my life, and I told him to go away many, many times. Honestly, my daughter's better without that in her life. If you really think about it, you guys. She doesn't need that kind of violence. Somebody with a temper like that. No. Not my kid. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab everybody, as it's just about time for the bugs to engage. So let's send them in. Now I really want to get to work on, putting some sort of flooring in here, but I already know the second that I do, we're not going to have 3 people crafting. So there's no guarantee that we're going to continue to whittle down these electronics and CPUs. But, at least we're going to get a decent amount of them done. Now, I've gotten fed up. Now, one thing I'm going to do as well, since I have family coming over for about a week, is I'm going to record several videos, and I'm going to create several save files. And I'm going to pray that they all save correctly. That way, if any of them get corrupted, I can go back and delete what I need. Alright, now let's go ahead and grab everybody. I do have family coming, like I said. My brother and sister-in-law and their 2 boys. And then we're watching one of the boys until Friday. Yeah, you can hear me sighing. Yeah, it's... the kid can be a handful sometimes. not to any fault of his own, obviously, he is just a kid. But you know, it's my autism that gets triggered, the screaming mainly. And then you know, he's a little boy, so he does certain things, rubs certain parts, and you know, I don't need to see a little boy with a half chub walking around my house, especially with a little girl that he likes to hover behind. Yeah. Again, I know they're just kids, and that nothing will probably happen, but yeah, that just rubs me the wrong way. You know, coming from past that I've witnessed, you know, firsthand, secondhand, however you want to say. I'm no stranger to the cruelty of humanity. Really? Just Laura? Well, she's getting her combat rating up. I'm tired of this. Go engage. There we go. Ooh, I'm gonna trim him. Hopefully he doesn't pick it up. Do it again, Jack. Come on. See that pulse rifle. Every time he shoots it, it's like a percussion grenade in my ears. God, that felt great. Alright. So let's see what we're doing again. How's this coming along? That's right, we still need 3. I don't know where the other 2 are going. Not for these. Would it be going to this? Perhaps? No. These? That's not a broken one. Where's the broken ones? Are we going to these then? No, these are all fixed now. Alright, cool. Okay, where are those going then? A light maybe? No one's going over here. Are the other ones potentially over here? No. No. I'm confuzzled. Oh, duh. Yeah. The pairings of these. No? No. Where's it going? My brain hurts. So we need 3 of them. 2 of them are going to this, and then there's one going somewhere else that I have no idea. Yeah, one more. Is it to this? Oh, duh, it's to this. Okay. Alright, so 2 CPUs to this and 1 over to that. Hold on, Ken. Hold on, Melody. I'll get you guys your own home here shortly. I mean, it might not be this episode. Probably definitely the next one, though. And it's going to be a long night for me, like I said. I'm going to try and record as much as I can as tomorrow night and every night for the next week straight, as he is, as the little one that we're going to be watching will be going home on Friday morning. So, you know, once my little girl goes to sleep, because it's going to be me watching her while my wife and the little one go to where he resides, which is a different state. So my wife's going to go see her brother-in-law for a little bit, go see some old friends where she used to grow up, and then she's going to come back home. And for anybody that's like, oh, well, your girl's going back home, you're not with her? What if she hooks up with a friend? I am not worried about her friends. Honestly, I feel happy with her being around her friends, and here's why. My wife is attracted to the LGBTQ community. That's right. I don't know of any friend that isn't either gay or lesbian. And, you know, she hooks up with a woman, honestly, that she ain't getting pregnant, so I don't have to raise nobody's kid. Hell, maybe she'll bring her home and have a threesome. No, okay. No, let's not talk about that. But no, I feel my wife's just fine, you guys. She's gonna have family with her. And I'm not one of those petty, insecure men. Has to know where his woman is at all times. You know, I have been cheated on before, but you know, that doesn't bother me none. those women just missing out on a very good thing. Because here I am now, married with my wife. My wife's happy. I'm happy. Why aren't we crafting any armor? Did we craft it all up? Let me take a look. So we got our weapons. All of that's still good. Okay, over here. No. We didn't craft any of the shirts. But that's fine. Melody went to harvest. We needed an extra hand. No, Jack's harvesting. What are we doing? I'm going to grab Melody and make her craft armor. It's not really crafting armor, though, is it? She's making a shirt. Well, several shirts. We'll let her finish her bench pressing, and now she can go tailor. Alright, but yeah, we need to get that, at least one of these two out of the way. So I'm going to make sure that we get the CPUs completed before the video's over. Or at least pray that it does. No, we'll have enough time. So with the last Jurassic Park video that I haven't uploaded it yet. It'll be the next one uploaded after this video. I noticed that after I said my whole goodbye to everybody, I forgot there's like a little speech of sorts, like a little completion speech that they do every time you complete one of those DFW missions. And yeah, I forgot to clip that, so I had to clip a separate portion of that. So if it looks a little weird with the editing, my apologies. I try to do everything with as bare minimal editing as possible, if at all, none. Every video is edited, and here's how. I remove the first 10 seconds of it. That's the editing that I do. That's literally all the editing that I do. So every single video up until now, this has been me, unscripted, raw, straight from, the spark of idea to out of my mouth. You're getting it as it's coming. There's no, obviously you can tell that there's no pre-planning in some of the things that come out of my mouth. Honestly, some of the things that come out of my mouth surprise me. But then again, you don't really know how you feel about a subject until you really start talking about said subject. So I guess this is a little bit of personal growth with these videos for me. And it lets you guys know to steer clear of my crazy ass. And yes, you are noticing that I am starting to curse a little bit. We're starting to get towards the end of the video, and if it gets flagged, oh well. But I've seen some other channels that they can get away with it if it's towards the later end, and if they don't do it obsessively. I mean, it is just a part of the English language, and I am a grown adult, and saying butt instead of ass all the time, it's a little weird. It takes me back to where I'm like a kid. Like mommy and daddy are watching over me saying, no, you can't. Don't use these words. No, son. We'll put you in the corner and put soap in your mouth. I had that kind of childhood. Well, that was easy portions, but who cares? We're not here to discuss my upbringing. Everybody's got their own, problems. Everybody has their own crazy stories from when they were brought up. I don't need to share mine. Nope, instead I can share my adult life stories instead. Things that came about simply by my own choosing. Which, man, I've done some stupid stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Many, many years ago, I did some tagging, as some of us idiots do. I was young and dumb. Tagging, thinking, oh yeah, look at me, I'm a part of a gang. When, there was no even hanging out with them. How some kids can be, they're so stupid. they see it and they want it, so they pretend it, and then they go out and they make stupid choices. Yeah, I was one of them. I've learned from it, though. You gotta learn from it. If you don't, man, you're gonna have a rough life. What's going on, Ken? You need to be going over here. You need to go over here and finish these CPUs, man. We need to get yourself this over here, so you and your wife can go and hang out in some air-conditioned room by yourselves. Yes, it is. This I partake of it at night, exclusively at night, mainly to help keep the thoughts at bay. Nah, it's to keep my war dreams away. When I smoke before I go to sleep, or any time, a few hours before I go to bed, um, it'll keep the dreams away. However, it hasn't been working as well lately. I've been having my cold sweats again, which I'm contributing partially to the fact that it's summertime and those temps are hot, so my body's just reacting to the heat instead of so much the cold sweats. But then again, I do have my wife and a little girl who like to lay on top of me in the middle of the night. Mainly my wife on top of me, and then her, or the little one on top of her. It gets so hot in my room. It gets so hot. Absolutely ridiculous. My wife gets we have the ceiling fan, but she doesn't like putting it on high. It starts to wobble a little bit, but she has a little side fan that she gets to enjoy, whereas I get to suffer. Yeah. I get to suffer. So, I'm accustomed to it. And it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold outside, I'm still gonna sleep. Like a rock. I mean, this is how good I can sleep, you guys. Back when I was in the military, we had a 3-day mission, right? So, what was it? The first day we landed at the top of a mountain, and we set up formation, 360 formation, linked legs and whatnot. I got my leg over my other buddy's leg. That way we, if somebody moves to get up, we know that it's time to move. But he didn't cross the guy to his right leg, and I didn't cross the guy to my left leg, and I was hyper focused, just like the guy next to me. We're both hyper focused on watching our zones, and I'm telling you the whole story about it. We'll get to the sleep part later. But we were so hyper focused on watching our zones, our 3 degrees, more or less, your 10 degrees of cover, that we didn't realize that the guys to our left and right had gotten up and started moving out. Nobody came to tap us. Nothing. Nobody told us time to move out. I was also pretty deaf at the time. Partially because I was in a shipping container right next to the 155s when they started going off. The 155s being the big howitzers that shoot, big cannons, big booms. And I was in a shipping container, which we call a little Connex. I was in a shipping container, and the doors were wide open, and the entrance was pointed right where the big booms were coming from. So my ears, that's why they don't shut up. I've got a ringing that never stops in my left ear. But regardless, nobody told us that we were going to be leaving. Going back to the original story. Nobody told us that we were going to be leaving. So they all take off. Now, thank God, one of us had a radio. So, 30 minutes go by. It's just me and this dude on top of the mountain by ourselves. And we hear over the radio, we hear our call sign, "Where are you guys?" And we say, "We're still on top of the ridge. Are we moving out?" And they're like, "We moved out 30 minutes ago." And yeah, so we had to re-link up with one of our guys. They halted the convoy. It wasn't really a convoy if you're on feet. But they halted the progression because we were on a 3-day mission to traveled down the side of a mountain, clearing the village for villages, and possible weapon caches. We were going to blow those up and take them out. Set check time. But yeah. So we finally link up with them. We're going out. First day, nothing really happened, and my guard shift happens, uneventful, sleep like a rock. Second day, this was somewhat supported. Second day, pretty much same thing. Not a whole lot. We find a couple weapon caches that we blow up. One of the Afghani National Army guys thought he saw somebody, and so we heard an RPG going off and a little bit of their gunfire, which was nothing. The third day, which is why I say that I can sleep anywhere, we're literally like 200 meters from where we're gonna be getting picked up the next night or the next morning, and it's extremely rough terrain, very steep terrain. So I slept with my head on a rock, my feet pointed up the hill because that was the only comfortable way I could find. Eventually my feet ended up down the hill. Yeah, I wasn't thinking then. I was like, oh, this is comfy, I'm tired, and the blood started rushing to my head and I was out zonked. Slept like a baby. Yeah, I used a rock for a pillow. Yeah, it was comfy. After 3 days walking down the side of a mountain, God, everything's comfy. But man, when we got back to the base, man, one of our guys was not taking care of his feet, and it looked, his feet on the outside looked like gonorrhea syphilitis had taken effect, and it smelled like it too. Like, we're talking a smell that could clear an entire room of guys who just got done with the 3-day mission and were just ready to zonk out for 2 days. Everybody got up as fast as they could, and they were out of that building. And like, we're talking people that were like passing out almost on their feet, got out of that building. That's how bad it was. Yeah, I can sleep on the side of the mountain. I can sleep, anywhere. I don't need, any special nothing. Just out. It kind of helped when I got out of the military. I was homeless for a little bit, but yeah, that's a different story for a different day. As we are getting rather close to the end of this video. And I said that we are going to take care of one of these things, but I got off on my story time adventure. Sorry about that, you guys. Let's see how much time we actually have left. We're at 53 minutes. Well, 52 minutes and some change. I like to cut the first 10-20 seconds. So we're about 53 minutes, probably like right about now. So I'm going to attempt to finish at least the CPUs for you guys. It looked like Ken was smashing out on the electronics though. We're down to 9. But again, I want to get the CPUs out of the way. That, like I said, that way we can get this crafted up and get their beds moved over. And as we see, electronics is starting to become a necessity again. So the faster we get the CPUs out of the way, the faster Ken can focus on those. So another little snippet into my life, you guys. Some of the things that have molded me into what I am today. Most people say that they're in the military. They usually mean like a cook or something. Nope, I was outside the wire. Jump out of perfectly good airplanes behind enemy lines. That was my job. You know what most kids play in Call of Duty? I did that for a job. No, it wasn't, anything high ranking. No special forces, none of that stuff. I wish. I really wish. It was, Ranger school, and then I got hurt, got out. All the stuff from Afghanistan finally caught up to me, rolling down the side of a mountain, busting up my knees, my body during training. It all just, eventually took its toll. So I got out, med boarded. Kind of sucks. I missed the job a lot. It was great. But when you're not deployed, you're just sitting there, area beautification. I got paid to play video games. Like, I got paid to do what I'm doing right here. During the daytime, you played video games, you watched movies. If you were squared away, majority of the time, you do PT in the morning, you might do some range activity, you might go to the gym. It was a lot of you time. And then you had area beautification around noon. And we'd carry that out for a few hours. If everybody was working on it instead of like one or two people, we could get our entire area clean in like 30 minutes. All the grass mowed, the sidewalk swept, bushes cut, made our barracks look nice because that's area beautification. Pick up all the trash. That was a mandatory role. So we'd all contribute towards that, and we'd have like several hours before the next formation, which is the final formation to dismiss you for the day. We'd just be spending it watching movies, bullshit and hanging out, drink. Well, you couldn't drink really, but we'd want to be drinking. We'd be staring at the beers in our fridge, drinking them in our minds, waiting patiently. But alright, you guys, that's all the time we have for this one. If you watched until now and you watched the whole video, my hat off to you. You guys are phenomenal. Like, I don't know how I'm getting so much watch hours for 13 subscribers. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys. But that was a little intro into my brain, a little intro into my past. Some things we probably didn't need to know, but it got said anyway. And like I said, this channel is raw and edited, and all I do is cut the first 10 seconds out. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. You guys take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next episode, which will probably be Jurassic Park. Alright, later guys.